All right, y'all, so it's week 2 of the Artist Way. So let's get into what I learned and what I'm discovering about myself. Week 2 of the Artist Way is about recovering a sense of identity. And I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like I didn't realize how you can get in your own way. And I know we talked about this a lot in week 1, but for week 2, I do feel like it was a little bit more uncomfortable because I was able to identify how I keep myself uncomfortable. See, week 2 focuses on a lot of the negative beliefs that we tell ourselves that keeps us to not be creative, keeps us in the loop of not trusting ourselves, and just ways that we get out of not doing things that we really want to do, but we're really scared to do. I didn't realize that me not being consistent was me getting in my own way. Because you tell yourself the things as to why you can't be consistent. So some of the things for me that why I want to be consistent is my hair's not done. So you guys know me. I've been struggling with my hair and what do I want to do, because I do value healthy hair. So I'm not always going to want to have heat on my hair or pulling my hair in tight textures, tight hairstyles. I'm not always going to want to do that. And that was one of the things that had got in my way before of me not being consistent. And guess what I'm doing right now? I got a beanie on, glasses, little lip combo. I feel cute. We're filming. Okay, so back to the book. I do want to just go over some of the things that I highlighted in the book that I believe that were really good, and just the overall theme of the week, like what it says for week 2. So for week 2, this week addresses self-definition as a major component of creative recovery. You may find yourself drawing near new boundaries and staking out new territories as your personal needs, desires, and interests announce themselves. The essays and tools are aimed at moving you into your personal identity and self-defined you. All right, so we're not going to read the whole chapter 2 together, but I do want to just go over some of the things I highlighted that I thought were really good and just discuss. So one of the things I highlighted was the very first sentence. I thought it was good, y'all. But trusting our creativity is new behavior for many of us. It may feel quite threatening initially. Dang. Not only to us, but also to our intimates. We may feel and look erratic. This erraticism is a normal part of getting unstuck, pulling free from the muck that has blocked us. It is important to remember that at first flush, going sane feels like going crazy. So to me, what I got from that is when you start going after things that are scary to you and that may not make sense to you, like going back into week 1's themes of just how my creativity and safety didn't necessarily align and how I'm working through that. You feel crazy. You're going against the grain. You're going against what you've been told, and it don't feel good. It don't feel fun. I didn't like that. Another thing that I outlined was affirmations are a powerful antidote for self-hate, which commonly appears under the mask of self-doubt. Self-doubt can lure us into self-sabotage. Let's talk about it. Affirmations help with getting rid of your self-hate or your self-doubt. And the way that you do that through affirmations, I'm not even gonna lie, I literally started doing that. So in my morning pages, some of the things that I do, and for week 2, they make you do it, but some of the things that I do for my morning pages is I'll write down all of my fears, all of them. I just list them out. I write them all down, and then I replace it with a positive one that pours into me, and it's an affirmation. Life-changing, y'all. I swear it's so good. If you want to work on not allowing your self-doubt to get in the way, your self-hate, whatever you want to call it, to get in the way of you doing the things that you want to do, that scare you, that excite you, that you may feel is unattainable for you, you gotta rewire your brain. And if you can't rewire it, just start small. I don't like this, or I feel this, or I think this. However, I'm choosing to believe this now. Life-changing, swear. The next one that I had highlighted was the most poisonous playmates for us all are recovering creatives, are people whose creativity is still blocked. I can't tell you how hard it is to share the things that you want to do, and how even for me, I've done this too. So I can't be oh, I also can see how I have gotten in the way of other people because my creativity has been blocked. But when you're having conversations with your loved ones, and you want to share with them how you feel about things and you're so excited about them, and they do not have the same energy for you, or it turns into a lecture, or let me bring you back to reality, let me ground you in reality, how discouraging that is, and why so many of us are creatively blocked. This is why it's super important when you identify your monsters, and this is something that I'm currently going through, but when you identify your monsters, or which is your list of people who you can't share with because they don't understand, you have to be really strict about it and not share with those people who don't understand, because if you do share with them, they really do create heavily emphasize the self-doubt that you already have inside. And if you don't want to be going through that, you can't talk to everybody, and that's okay. And like sometimes I used to be like, dang, like I want to share this with everybody, but everybody don't get it, and that's okay. Everybody can't come with you on your journey, and that's okay. Some of those people will come with you on your journey, but you will learn what you can share with them and what you can't share with them, and that's okay. Things I had to tell myself, y'all. I highlighted here, it says we could fantasize about art instead of doing the work. Y'all, when I tell you I love to dream, what? I be dreaming it up. I be like, yeah, this is it. It's going to work out for me. I can't wait. And I just love the idea or the hope of like the things that I could achieve, but I'm not actually putting forward that intentionality of like doing it. I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. That's going to be me one day. But what am I actually doing to get there? Be very careful to safeguard your newly recovering artist. Because she's new, y'all. It took me a long time to get through week 2. I ain't gonna lie, it took me a long time. Be very careful to safeguard your newly recovering artist. Often creativity is blocked by our falling in with other people's plans for us. This is so tea and something that I'm definitely learning. This is really true, and I don't think we understand that. I think oftentimes we get stuck in the way that we were grown up with. So like our childhood trauma or the things or the wants and hopes and dreams or ambitions that our parents placed upon us. And we don't recognize that, yeah, those might have been things that your parents may have wanted to do, but they weren't necessarily what you wanted to do. And somewhere along the lines, you got your parents' dream mixed up with your dream, and then you start going after your parents' dream for you. And it's just like, what about your own dream for you? Something I'm currently working through. Is this what I actually want for myself, or is this what I've been told to do and I trusted people in my life? The essential element in nurturing our creativity lies in nurturing ourselves. Currently working on that, y'all. I'm learning how to nurture myself, calm myself down, ease into things, and telling myself that it's okay. It's hard, but this was good. This talks about like crazy makers, and crazy makers are people that will take a hold of your time, but you can't get any of their time. And we all have somebody that's a crazy maker in our life, have or had, has, whatever. We all have them. And some of the things that they talked about with crazy makers were, your crazy maker will find a new way to fight for you for that time, to mysteriously need things, meaning you, for when you just need to be alone and focus on the task at hand. T. And instead of focusing on things that you got going on, you focus on everything that they got going on. And your crazy makers could be anybody, y'all. So be mindful of the crazy makers in your life. Because I can see for myself how I have allowed my crazy makers to... I have focused my time on my crazy makers instead of on myself. And how that got in the way of me being able to do what I wanted to do sooner. Because I was focusing on other things that I felt were more pressing than me. T. The last thing that I have is, if you are involved now with a crazy maker, it is very important that you admit to this fact. Admit that you are being used, and admit that they are using you. Admit that you are being used, and admit that you are using your own abuser. Your crazy maker is a block you choose yourself to deter you from your own trajectory. As much as you are being exploited by your crazy maker, you too are using that person to block your creative flow. I just talked about it, y'all, and that's good. I know I'll be jumbling my words up, so hopefully y'all got that. But you have to, we all have things that are put into our lives that get in the way from us being able to take care of what we really want to do. And we have to be mindful and have strong boundaries, which I do think comes with time, y'all, because it's hard. But you have to be mindful and have strong boundaries so that people can't take that and run. People can't take it and use your time, and then you're out here living your life that wasn't a life that you intended for yourself. That was a life that someone else intended for you, or you living your life for other people. That's one of my greatest fears. My greatest fears is that I will never pour into myself or love myself enough, and I will always pour into others before I put over to myself. And I never want to be the last person on my list. I don't want to do that no more. I've been doing that. I don't want to do that no more. So that's the end of me, like my highlights of what I really got out of the week. And I thought it was really, really good, y'all. I really thought it really affirmed some of the things that I already was believing and some of the boundaries that I was already creating for myself anyways with certain people in my life. And how I haven't really taken my own life into my own hands and ran with it. I've been scared, which you talked about in week 1. So if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, go to week 1, then come back to this video. But I've just been scared and fearful, and the fear really was what I created in my own head from what other people told me, and it wasn't what I actually experienced. And also the fear is also me not believing that things are possible for me, but things are possible for me. I just have to put myself out there and try. And sometimes that trying is scary, y'all. Especially when sometimes you feel that you may be like the background character or someone to push someone else to do it, and it can't necessarily be you. I'm working, but I thought that this was a really good week. I don't want to go into everything, but we had a lot of things that we had to do this week, and I do want to talk about the things that I thought were super important. So one of the things that they made us do this week for the Artist Way was you had to list 20 things that you enjoy doing, and it was so good. I made my husband do it, but sometimes I feel like we think that joy or things that make you happy have to be like these big grand things or these very intentional things like going on vacation or something like that, and it's like it doesn't have to be. So some of the things that bring me joy, just like a little quick list, is sunshine. I love the sun, y'all. When I wake up, when I'm at home and I'm able to open up all the windows in my home, I open up all the windows in my home because I love the sun. I love seeing the sun. The sun makes me so happy. So sitting in the room with lots of sunlight literally brings me joy. Easy. I could do that. That's easy to do. Another thing that brings me a lot of joy is going on a walk. I love walking. Y'all, I love walking. It's one of my favorite things to do. Something else that brings me joy that I haven't been able to do in a long time, ride my skateboard. I literally taught myself how to ride a skateboard at like 21, and I love riding a skateboard. It's so fun to me, and I haven't been able to do it because I have not made the time to do it. Don't let me say nothing else. I have not made the time to do it. And it's like, why you haven't made the time to do something that you love to do? Make it make sense. You wanna know why? Because you be scrolling on that phone, and you need to stop scrolling on that phone, and you need to go do what you said you want to do. Get off the phone and get outside. What? Get off the phone and get outside. One of the last things from this week that was said and like the tasks to do, and I highlighted it because I thought it was too good. It said, stop looking for big blocks of time when you will be free. Find small bits of time instead. You know what I do now? I can eat in between me doing things at my job. So now during my lunch, I go on a walk. Yeah, because I can. Just little things like that. In my office, I have a window. So guess what I do? Open up that window, let that sun hit me. Because I can. I have a few moments in the morning sometimes to just journal. Guess what I do? Pull out that journal and write. Because writing is something else that makes me happy. So it's not about carving out these huge, big pockets of time. It's about finding small pockets of time in your day to do some of the things that you love to do, and they really do bring you joy. Whatever your joy may be, because those are my joys. I'd love to know some of y'all joys in the comments, not gonna lie. All right, so those are just my quick little tidbits and thoughts on week 2 of the hardest. I talk too quickly, and I need to learn to just like slow it down. Anyways, those are my thoughts on week 2 of the Artist Way, and I thought it was really good and really reaffirming for me because I've already been identifying these things prior to me starting the book and creating those boundaries for myself, and I'm seeing it come to life. And sometimes you'd be like, dang, I really want to share this with this person, and I love this person, and I really want this person to understand me. But if they don't get it, they don't just get it, and that's not the person that you need to be sharing with. You got to share with the people that understand what you're trying to do, understand you, and want to pour back into you too. And we don't always do that because we're like, but I love this person. And for me, my biggest takeaway from this week is stop sharing your goals that you have with people that don't get it and don't understand, and share with like-minded people that understand you. Now, that's not talking about you not being able to pay your bills, you not being able to eat. I'm not talking about that. If you're not paying your bills, you're not being able to eat, you're going to have to learn to do both. And sometimes you got to do hard things. That's another conversation. But for this week, my biggest takeaway is you really should have identified your monsters and your heroes, and you should be sharing with your heroes with things that, with your creative things that you want to share, because your monsters may not get it even though we love them. Yep, that's what I got for y'all. I'll update you guys again when I start week 3. Week 2 did take me a long time, not gonna lie. Like, it took me a long time to get it done. I don't know what it was. I was getting it my own way. But I was doing my artist pages in the morning, so that helped. And I've been writing a lot, and I'm on Substack, so that's cool too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys are learning. Let me know if you guys are reading The Artist Way or what you guys are reading. And this was fun. Okay, see you guys in my next one. Bye.